The world comes into existence as a vibration. It's a deep, resonant hum that you feel in your teeth before you hear it. It's the sound of 1,000 men, their voices merging into a single, terrifying promise. Your voice is one of them, a stranger in your own throat. The words are Latin, guttural and ancient, yet they spill from your lips with a fluency that isn't yours. You feel the cool morning air on your shaven head, the coarse wool of a tunic scratching your neck. You are standing in a line, shoulder to shoulder with hundreds of others, a sea of raw recruits on a vast, dusty field. Before you, on a wooden platform, a man draped in a scarlet cloak holds a gleaming standard, a golden eagle with its wings outstretched. This is the Legion's soul, and you are about to pledge yours to it. A man next to you, his face pale with a mixture of awe and terror, faints, collapsing into the dirt with a soft thud. No one moves. No one looks. The chant continues, relentless. A name is hammered into your mind, not your own, but one that now belongs to you, Titus Flavius Vibius. This is the first branding, the first chipping away of the person you were. The oath reaches its crescendo, a vow of absolute obedience, a promise to never desert, and to willingly face death for the Roman eagle. Your modern mind screams in protest, a silent prisoner in a skull that is no longer its own. But your body, this strange vessel of muscle and bone, feels a terrifying surge of belonging. The oath was a vow. The march is its fulfillment. This is your world now, the back of the man in front of you. The rhythmic thump, thump, thump of thousands of hobnailed sandals caligae hitting the packed earth, and the crushing weight on your shoulders. The sarcina, the marching pack, is a beast of its own, a cruel collection of stakes for the nightly rampart, a shovel, a wicker basket, rations of hardtack biscuit and sour wine, and your personal effects. It digs into your shoulders, a constant, grinding pain that you are ordered to ignore. Then there is the armor, the lorica segmentata, strips of iron bound by leather. Feels less like protection and more like a cage. It chafes your skin raw at the shoulders and hips. Your shield, the scutum, is an absurdly heavy plank of curved wood and leather that bangs against your calf with every step. You march for miles under a sun that bakes the iron of your helmet, turning your skull into an oven. Sweat stings your eyes. Your throat is a desert. The only relief is a mouthful of posca, the cheap, vinegary wine mixed with water that is the Legion's fuel. It's foul, but it's wet. Your mind, the 21st century ghost in the machine, counts the steps, screams for a break, for an end to this monotonous torture. But the body plods on, its muscles screaming but obedient, falling into a rhythm older than memory. This is the first true lesson: you are no longer a person who walks. You are a component that marches. You see him before you meet him. He moves through the ranks like a predator, his presence a ripple of fear. He is Centurion Lucius Cassian, and the men call him the Rock. He is not a large man, but he is carved from something harder than flesh. His face is a roadmap of old scars, his eyes 2 chips of flint. In his hand, he carries the symbol of his office, the vitis, a simple staff of dried grapevine. It looks harmless. It is not. During a weapons drill, your grip on the heavy wooden training sword slackens. Fatigue is a roaring ocean in your ears. For a split second, you lower your scutum an inch too far. In that instant, Cassian is there. He doesn't shout. He doesn't warn. The Vites whistles through the air and cracks across your forearms with a sound like a breaking branch. A bolt of pure, white-hot agony shoots up to your shoulder. You cry out. A sound of shock and modern indignation. The pain is a message. Cassian's voice is low, almost conversational, yet it cuts through the din of the training yard. It tells you that you are weak. The Legion cannot afford weakness. Your shield does not protect you. Recruit. It protects the man to your left. You lower your shield. He dies. Pick it up. Your arms tremble. Not just from the blow, but from a strange mix of fury and shame. You lift the shield. The pain is immense, but the burning gaze of the centurion is worse. You have just received your first lesson, not in swordsmanship, but in responsibility, delivered by the brutal logic of the vine staff. That night, huddled in the 8-man leather tent that is your new home, your contubernum, the pain in your arms has dulled to a throbbing ache. The men around you are ghosts, too exhausted to speak. You are all cogs in the same machine, interchangeable and anonymous. Then, a hand pushes a small, greasy clay pot towards you. For the sting, a voice says, rough but not unkind. You look up. It's the man whose bunk is next to yours. A boy with a farmer's shoulders and dirt permanently etched into the lines of his hands. His name is Gaius Macer. He smells of sweat and earth. Cassian marked us all on the first week, he says. A wry, weary smile on his face. It's how he says hello. He shows you his own faded scars. In his eyes, you see not the hardened killer you expected, but a simple weariness. He tells you of his home in Umbria, a small plot of land that was never enough. He enlisted for the promise of a farm after 25 years of service, a dream of soil and sun that feels a universe away from this cold, disciplined hell. You share your hardtack biscuit, the silence in the tent no longer feeling empty, but shared. This is Gaius, your tentmate, your brother in this squalor. He is the first human connection you have made, a small, flickering candle of familiarity in the overwhelming darkness of this new life. Your modern mind, so starved for connection, latches onto him. He is your anchor. You thought you enlisted to be a soldier. You discover you have enlisted to be a laborer. Every single day, after a soul-destroying march, the real work begins. The Legion does not simply camp. It builds a fortress. The signal is given, and a miracle of disciplined industry unfolds. Under the watchful, unforgiving eyes of the engineers, you and your comrades become a human ant colony. You use the shovel from your pack to dig, not a shallow trench, but a deep, wide ditch, a fossa, with a vertical inner wall. The earth you excavate is used to build a rampart, a high wall of soil and turf. Then, you take the 2 heavy, sharpened wooden stakes you have carried all day, the suits, and drive them into the top of the rampart, creating a vicious palisade. It is backbreaking, repetitive, grueling work. Your muscles scream. Blisters form on your blisters, and every fiber of your being craves only to collapse. But you work. You work because the man next to you works. You work because the forest, which watches you with a silent, brooding menace, is full of unseen enemies. You work because Centurion Cassian walks the line, and the Vites is always ready to correct a slacker. As the sun sets, a perfect, defensible fortress stands where there was only wilderness hours before. You stand on the completed wall, looking out at the dark woods, and for the first time, you feel a flicker of something new. It's not pride, it's security. A brutal, hard-won security, built with your own sweat and pain. You are not just a soldier. You are a builder of Rome's frontier, one ditch at a time. Discipline is the spine of the legion. Today, you learn what happens when that spine is broken. A young recruit from another century, barely a man, panics during a surprise cavalry drill. He throws down his shield and runs. He doesn't get 5 paces before he is caught. The punishment is not a simple flogging. It is the fustuarium, a sentence for desertion or dereliction of duty. The entire cohort is formed into 2 long lines, creating a narrow gauntlet. They are armed not with swords, but with clubs and stones. The condemned man is forced to run between them. Your section is part of the gauntlet. You stand there, a heavy, rough club in your hand. Gaius is next to you, his face ashen. "Don't look him in the eye," he mutters. The boy is shoved into the gauntlet. He stumbles forward, his face a mask of pure terror. The first blows land with wet, sickening thuds. He screams. You are ordered to strike. Your modern mind recoils in absolute horror. This is murder. This is monstrous. But your arm, heavy as lead, lifts the club. Your body, conditioned by weeks of brutal, mindless obedience, knows what it must do. You are part of the whole. A break in the chain dooms everyone. You close your eyes and swing. You feel a dull impact, but hear nothing over the roar of the cohort and the boys' fading cries. When it's over, a broken thing lies on the ground, barely recognizable as human. There is no ceremony. His body is dragged away. You are ordered back to your duties. You look at your hands, at the club you just held. You were not just a witness. You were a participant. You were the weapon. The Legion has just shown you its ultimate truth. It is a beast that will devour its own to survive. The memory of the fustuarium haunts you, but there is no time for reflection. There is only training. You spend hours a day facing the palace, a thick wooden stake driven into the ground. This is your enemy. Centurion Cassian's voice is a constant, barking litany. The gladius is not a farmer's scythe. It is a viper. You do not swing. You do not slash. You stab. He demonstrates his movements economical and deadly. He keeps his body almost entirely behind his scutum, a moving wall of wood and iron. The attack is a short, explosive step forward, a punch with the shield boss to create an opening, and a vicious upward thrust of the gladius into the imaginary groin or gut of the palace. The belly, the throat. Let the barbarians swing their long swords. You get inside, under their guard, and you kill them. Quick, dirty, efficient. You practice the motion 1,000 times, 1,000,000. Your shoulder aches. Your wrist screams. The motion becomes instinct. Lunge, punch, stab, lunge, punch, stab. You stop thinking. Your body learns the deadly geometry of Roman warfare. One day, you are sparring with Gaius, using blunted wooden swords. He comes at you, a bit too eager. You don't think. You react. Your body moves on its own. You block his swing with your shield, the impact jarring your arm. You step forward, your shield boss slamming into his chest, knocking the wind out of him. Your wooden sword finds the gap under his arm, pressing hard against his ribs. You have him. Helpless. Defeated. You stand there, breathing heavily, looking at your friend, who is gasping for air. The move was perfect, and it terrified you. The iron fist is no longer just a tool you hold. It is becoming part of you. The order comes without ceremony. You are marching north, across the Rhine. The air changes. The light changes. The very soil under your caligae feels different. On the Roman side, the world was ordered, the roads were straight, the land was tamed. Here, on the other side, you step into a myth. You step into Germania. The trees are a different breed of green, taller, darker, more ancient. They crowd together, their branches interlocking to form a perpetual twilight on the forest floor. The air is thick with the smell of damp earth, moss, and something else, an animal wildness. The legion marches in a tight, defensive column, scouts ranging far ahead, flankers moving through the trees. The comforting, monotonous rhythm of the march is gone, replaced by a tense, alert silence. Every snap of a twig, every call of an unseen bird sends a jolt through you. Your modern mind, fed on stories of the Teutoburg forest disaster, screams warnings. This is where legions die. This is a green hell. But your body, clad in iron, holding 10 pounds of shield and 3 pounds of steel, feels a different kind of tension. It's the alertness of a predator entering another's territory. Your hand rests constantly on the pommel of your gladius. Your eyes scan the shadows. The Rubicon was a river Caesar crossed to start a civil war. This forest is the Rubicon of your mind. You are leaving the world of rules and entering the world of survival. It happens with breathtaking speed. A scout returns, breathless, pointing ahead. A warband has been sighted blocking the path forward. There is no grand speech. Centurion Cassian simply bellows, "Forma Aetium, form battle line." The column deploys with the terrifying efficiency of a machine. You find your place in the second rank, your shield overlapping with the man to your right. You peer through the gap between the shields in front of you. You see them. The Germanians. They are huge, bearded men, their bodies painted with fearsome symbols. They carry long spears and heavy wooden shields. They scream, a cacophony of rage and challenge that hits you in the chest like a physical blow. Then, the Roman horns blare, a single, piercing note. Pilum. The front rank hurls their heavy javelins. The sky darkens with them. You hear screams as the iron shafts punch through wooden shields and flesh. The soft iron shanks of the pila bend on impact, making them impossible to pull out or throw back. Then the second volley, from your rank. You heave your pilum with all your strength. You don't see where it lands. There's no time. The lines are about to meet. Gladium shak is the cry. The front rank draws their swords. The impact is a car crash of wood, iron, and men. You are pushed forward to reinforce the line. A space opens up in front of you. A Germanian warrior, his face a mask of fury, his blonde beard matted with blood, lunges at you, his long sword swinging. You don't think. You act. The training takes over. You raise your scutum, catching the blow with a deafening crack. You step forward, smashing his face with your shield boss. He stumbles back, his nose a ruin, and you stab. Upward, hard. The gladius slides into his belly with a sickening, wet resistance. His eyes go wide with shock. He makes a soft, gurgling sound. The fury is gone, replaced by a look of bewildered surprise. You pull the blade out. He collapses. A red mist of adrenaline and horror clouds your vision. This is not a movie. It's not a game. It's the greasy, grunting, intimate work of butchery. You have just killed a man, and the battle is not over. The skirmish was short, brutal, and decisive. Roman discipline crushed barbarian fury. The survivors of the warband have melted back into the forest. The field is littered with their dead and dying. The Legion does not mourn. It works. You are ordered to police the battlefield. The first task is grim, a quick, sharp thrust of the gladius for any enemy still moving. Mercy is a liability. Your hand trembles as you dispatch a young warrior, his eyes pleading. You force yourself to do it. The Roman instinct for brutal pragmatism warring with your modern soul's revulsion. The second task is plunder. You are allowed to take what you can from the bodies. A fine iron sword, a silver armband, a well-made cloak. Gaius finds a small leather pouch full of polished amber stones. He grins, his face flushed with the thrill of victory and greed. "This is worth half a year's pay," he exclaims. You look at the dead man from whom he took it, his painted face now pale and peaceful in death. He was probably a father, a husband, a son. The amber was likely a treasure. You feel a wave of nausea. This isn't a reward. It's grave robbing. Yet, you find yourself stripping a warm body of its cloak. The wool is thick and will be useful on cold nights. You rationalize it. It is the spoils of war. It is your right. But as you sling the dead man's cloak over your shoulder, you can't escape the feeling that you are not just taking his property, but a piece of his life. And in doing so, losing a piece of your own, you push deeper into Germania. The victory has made the commanders bold, perhaps too bold. The forest grows thicker, the canopy so dense that it is perpetual dusk. The Legion is a river of steel and leather flowing through an endless, silent green sea. But it is not silent. Not really. If you listen, truly listen, you can hear it. The woods whisper. The wind through the high branches sounds like hushed voices. The calls of crows sound like warnings. You start seeing things in the periphery, a fleeting shadow, a face in the gnarled bark of a tree. It's your mind playing tricks on you. It has to be. But the feeling of being watched is constant, oppressive. The local tribes, the ones you were told were pacified, are nowhere to be seen. Their villages are abandoned. The hearth's cold. It's unnatural. Too quiet. Even Centurion Cassian seems on edge, his hand never far from his gladius, his gaze constantly scanning the suffocating walls of trees. One evening, as you stand guard on the rampart of the newly built camp, Gaius joins you. "It feels wrong," he says, his voice low, like the whole forest is holding its breath. He is right. The air is thick with unspoken menace. Your 21st century mind knows this trope. It's the quiet before the storm, the setup for the ambush. You want to scream a warning? Tell the legate to turn back. But you are Titus Flavius Vibius, a simple legionary. Your duty is not to think, but to obey. And so you march on, deeper into the trap. It happens in a narrow, marshy valley, with steep, wooded slopes on either side, a perfect kill box. The first warning is a sound you will never forget, a low, guttural blast from 1,000 animal horns, coming from all around you. It's a sound of pure, primal hatred. Before the echo dies, the sky goes black. It's not a storm, it's arrows and javelins and rocks. A deluge of death rains down from the unseen enemy on the slopes. Men scream and fall, their armor pierced, their bodies broken. The pristine order of the Legion shatters into chaos. The horns blare again, and from the trees, a tide of screaming warriors emerges. They pour down the slopes, a wave of fury and iron. Testudo Cassian bellows, trying to impose order on chaos. A handful of you, including Gaius, instinctively form a small, desperate shield wall. You raise your scutum above your head, interlocking it with the others. The world becomes a claustrophobic hell of noise and fear. Projectiles hammer down on the shields like a monstrous drumbeat. A spear punches clean through your neighbor's shield and the man himself, killing him instantly. The line falters. The barbarians are on you now. Hacking, stabbing, screaming. A massive, bare-chested warrior leaps onto your shield, trying to smash the formation through sheer weight. You stab upward, blindly, and feel your blade sink into his leg. He roars and falls away. The testudo breaks. It's every man for himself. This isn't a battle. It's a slaughter. In the swirling chaos, you see Centurion Cassian. He is a rock, just as his name suggests. He has gathered a small knot of veterans around him, forming a tiny island of discipline in the sea of panic. He is fighting not with fury, but with a cold, terrifying precision. His gladius is a blur, his shield a battering ram. He is the anchor point, the one man who might be able to rally a defense. You and Gaius fight your way towards him, a desperate scramble for the safety he represents. For a moment, it seems possible. He sees you, his eyes acknowledging you with a grim nod. He is shouting orders, trying to form a perimeter. That is when you see the champion, a Germanian chieftain, head and shoulders taller than the rest, clad in a bear's pelt and wielding a massive two-handed axe. He smashes his way through the line, his axe cleaving shields and helmets as if they were paper. He and Cassian lock eyes. The duel is brutally short. Cassian is quick, his gladius darting in. But the chieftain takes the blow on his arm, ignoring the wound, and brings his axe around in a scything arc. It catches Cassian high on the chest, slicing through his lorica segmentata with a sound of tearing metal and breaking bone. The rock, the unshakable centurion, looks down at the grievous wound with a sort of detached surprise, then collapses. With his fall, the last vestige of hope dies. The line breaks completely. The eagle is down. Panic, total and absolute, takes over. You run. You don't know where. Gaius is beside you, his face a mask of terror. You plunge into the forest, away from the screams and the slaughter. The woods that were menacing before are now your only sanctuary. You run until your lungs burn and your legs give out, collapsing behind a moss-covered log. The sounds of the battle fade, replaced by the pounding of your own heart. You are alive. You are lost. You are hunted. Days blur into a nightmarish cycle of fear and hunger. Your pristine Roman discipline is a joke here. You learn to move like a ghost, to read tracts, to forage for edible roots and grubs that your modern mind finds disgusting, but your starving body craves. You drink from stagnant pools, your Roman self horrified at the lack of clean water. You and Gaius are all that's left of your contubernium, your cohort, maybe your legion. One night, huddled together for warmth. You hear the sound of a hunting party, their guttural language carrying on the still night air. You hold your breath, your hand clamped over Gaius's mouth as they pass mere feet from your hiding place. In that moment, you are not a Roman soldier. You are prey. The roles are reversed. You are the barbarian now, the savage hiding in the woods, terrified of the organized killers who own the territory. Weeks pass, or is it months? Time has lost its meaning. You are no longer Titus Flavius Vibius, legionary of Rome. You are a creature of the forest. Your uniform is in tatters, your face covered by a wild beard. You have learned to think like the men who hunt you. You use their tactics against them. You set simple snares. You create diversions. One night, desperate and starving, you and Gaius ambush a lone hunter. It's a clumsy, ugly affair, not a clean Roman stab, but a desperate struggle in the mud. You kill him with a rock. You feel no red mist, no horror, just a grim satisfaction. You take his spear, his furs, his dried meat. You are using the enemy's tools, his methods. You are becoming what you once despised. The line between Roman and barbarian has been washed away by mud and blood. Your journey south is a slow, agonizing crawl, navigating by the sun and stars, avoiding villages, living in constant fear. The ghost of your modern self watches this transformation with a kind of detached horror. It sees the civility, the morality, the very essence of your former identity being stripped away, layer by layer, until only the raw, desperate will to survive remains. You see it first, a flicker of unnatural light through the trees, a signal fire, Roman. Hope, an emotion you had long since buried, surges through you so powerfully it almost makes you sick. You and Gaius stumble out of the forest and into a clearing where a Roman patrol has made camp. They level their pila at you, their faces hard and suspicious. You are unrecognizable. Two wild men, clad in a patchwork of tattered legionary gear and barbarian furs. You try to speak, but your voice is a dry croak. You hold up your hand, showing them the faded tattoo of the Legion's eagle on your forearm. It is your brand, your proof of ownership. Their suspicion turns to shock. You are survivors of the lost Legion. You are ghosts who have walked out of hell. You are brought back to the main fortress on the Rhine, a place of order, stone walls, and hot food. You tell your story to the legate, a tale of disaster, chaos, and survival. You don't speak of the man you killed with a rock, or the other grim necessities of your journey. You speak of the ambush, of Cassian's fall, of your long trek home. In their eyes, you are not a traumatized, half-savage survivor. You are a hero, a symbol of Roman resilience. Your heroism, as they call it, does not go unrewarded. You are a veteran now, forged in a disaster that broke thousands of others. You have seen the worst the enemy can do and survived. That makes you valuable. In a formal ceremony on the parade ground, the legate calls your name. He speaks of your courage, your tenacity. He doesn't know the half of it. He doesn't know the terror, the shame, the things you did to stay alive. Gaius stands in the ranks, watching you with pride. The legate presents you with a new helmet, one with a crest of horsehair running side to side, and a wooden staff, the haystyle, the symbol of your new rank. You have been promoted to Optio, the second in command of a century. You are no longer just a cog. You are a foreman. You will be responsible for the discipline, the training, the lives of 80 men. You feel the weight of the staff in your hand. It feels heavier than any shield or pack you have ever carried. You look out at the rows of new recruits, their faces a mixture of fear and awe, the same look you once had. You are now the hard-faced veteran. You are the one who will have to enforce the brutal discipline. You have become Cassian. The thought sends a chill down your spine that has nothing to do with the cold. Your legion is recalled, not in disgrace, but to be reformed and to participate in a triumph for the emperor's grander Germanian campaigns. The march south is different. You are no longer a terrified recruit at the back of the column. You are an Optio, marching at the rear of your century. your staff a constant presence, ensuring the line is straight, the pace is kept. You are responsible. You push the men. You correct their mistakes, your voice taking on the hard, barking edge of a commander. You see the same pain and exhaustion in their faces that you once felt, but now you are the one inflicting it, for the good of the Legion. The journey takes you through Gaul and into Italy. The land becomes more and more civilized. The forests thin, replaced by vineyards and olive groves. The roads become paved highways of stone. The wildness of Germania feels like a fever dream. Gaius, still a simple legionary, is ecstatic. He talks of Rome, of the spectacle, of the bonus pay they will all receive. You nod along, but a strange detachment has taken hold of you. The closer you get to the heart of civilization, the more alien it feels. The comforts, the safety, the order, it all seems fragile. A thin veneer over the savage reality you now know to be true. You have seen what lies beyond the walls, and you can never unsee it. Rome. It is not a city. It is a force of nature, an explosion of sound, color, and people that overwhelms your senses. After the grim greens and browns of the frontier, the sheer spectacle is dizzying. Marble temples gleam under the Italian sun. Statues of gods and heroes line the streets, and the crowd, a roaring, screaming, ecstatic sea of humanity, packed 10 deep along the triumphal route. Your legion, reformed and clad in polished parade armor, marches through the gates. The air is thick with the smell of flowers, roasting meat, and expensive incense. The people throw blossoms at you. They cheer your name. They call you a hero, your Roman body, the instincts of Titus Flavius Vibius, swells with a pride so intense it's almost painful. This is it. This is the reward. This is the glory you suffered for, marched for, killed for. You are the conquering hand of Rome, the instrument of its power, and the city is thanking you for it. The roar of the crowd is a drug, and you are drunk on it. Your modern mind, the quiet prisoner, is almost completely silent, drowned out by the glorious, thunderous validation of the mob. The procession is a pageant of imperial might. First come the senators and magistrates, then the trumpeters, their horns blaring. Then come the spoils of war, wagons piled high with captured armor, weapons, and gold. Then come the most important spoils of all the captives, men, women, and children from the Germanian tribes, shackled and chained, forced to march in disgrace to display Rome's dominance. Their faces are a stark contrast to the cheering crowd. They are gray, hollowed out by defeat and despair. Their eyes are vacant. The crowd jeers at them, spits at them, celebrates their humiliation. Your Roman pride falters for a moment. You see their humanity, then you see him. A chieftain, tall and proud even in chains. His face is etched with rage and grief. His wife and 2 small children walk behind him, and you recognize him. It's the chieftain from the village you scouted before the ambush, the one who fought so fiercely. His eyes scan the ranks of your legion, and for a terrifying, heart-stopping moment, his gaze locks with yours. He doesn't know you. He can't. But in his eyes, you see the face of the man you stabbed in the belly, the man you killed with a rock, the boy whose dying plea you ignored. You see the faces of all the dead. They are all there, in this one man's stare. The chieftain's gaze breaks away. The parade moves on. The crowd continues to roar. But for you, the sound has faded to a distant, meaningless hum. The pride, the glory, the intoxication, it all evaporates in an instant, leaving behind a cold, sickening residue. The dual lens, the war between your two selves, snaps into its final, sharpest focus. Your Roman body stands tall, a decorated optio in a glorious triumph, but your modern soul, your true self, is kneeling in the dirt with those captives. You are the hero of the hour, but you are also the villain of their story. You look at your hands, the hands that now carry a staff of office. They are the hands that killed, that plundered, that helped break a boy in a punishment drill. This glory, this parade, this empire, it is all built on the bones of the people you see in chains. The eagle standard, gleaming in the sun ahead of you, casts a long, dark shadow. And in that moment, you realize you are standing in it. You have survived. You have achieved glory. You have become a badass Roman legionary, and the cost was everything you once were. You are a stranger in your own skin, a hero forever haunted by the ghosts of his victory.